Okay, I think the sun has kept a lot of folks away. So thank you so much for being here. It's our April CityLearn session. As folks join online, Christy, can you just click admit and let them in? Because I'm sure a flood of people are going to hop on that Zoom anytime. Sure. Good evening. I'm Mallory Van Abma. I'm the Community Opportunities Coordinator at City of Shoreline. So I have the great privilege of running the neighborhood programs and this fine program, CityLearn, which usually draws an ample crowd. And tonight, for whatever reason, we have a whole bunch of great staff members here from Environmental Services, Surface Water, and our Urban Forestry departments that are going to talk to you about environmental sustainability and habits in your daily life, things that the city does and can support you in actions in pursuing a greener world and having less of an impact on our world, negatively speaking. So, if you're online, SUNY, others, happy that you're here. Thank you for being here. And we always start CityLearn with an opportunity to hear from a member of our council. So we're really pleased to have Deputy Mayor Mork here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening. We're going to pass it over to Deputy Mayor Mork to give us a little recount of, background on you and why you think sustainability is important and what drove you to, why did you want to be on council? So curious. So, okay. You're going to get there. I'm going to pass it over. And thank you so much.
Yeah, take it away.
I get to talk into this. Can everybody hear me? Okay. I'm a chemical engineer and where do I need to stand? Where do I need to stand? Right here? That work? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a chemical engineer and a certified energy manager, and I have been, as a child, the Cuyahoga River caught fire, and we had all those pictures. And I said, I'm going to do something about this. And so I've spent my career doing sustainability-like things, whether it's energy conservation, trying to figure out how to sequester, trying to figure out how to recycle more, trying to do all of those kind of things. I ran for council because of sustainability, because I wanted to make sure that Shoreline did everything we possibly could to make our city a more sustainable place. And the reason I'm here tonight is I asked for this one long ago to be able to come here. This is my topic. Paige and I go to K4C, which is the King County collaboration of cities, 39 cities trying to work together to do things that will make an impact on the environment. And it's really interesting to hear what other cities are doing and trying to bring that back here for us to do and to share what we are doing with them. So it's, it's gives me courage. Noam Chomsky said, when they talked to him about what's happening with the world now and what concerned him, he said, everything that's happening now is irrelevant. Climate change is what matters. And I think that is true. He went so far as to say it'll be the end of our species. I certainly hope that's not the case. We're going to fight it. And I'm looking at people who are spending their days doing just that. And that is what's really important. And I'm really hopeful that people will keep pushing us in the city to do more. What do you think that we could do that would be helpful? Let's go there. And at that,
okay.
Here I'm going to give back the mic.
All right, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, Courtney's in the house. Okay, Deputy Mayor Mork, thank you so much. And I didn't know this deep connection of rooted in sustainability and the connection to serving the public and the community here in Shoreline. So our crowd is growing. Wow, amazing. All right, well, I think we're gonna just transition right into our presentation for the evening, and I probably will pass things over to Paige Scheid, who's our Environmental Services Manager. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Paige.
All right. Thank you, Mallory, and thank you, Deputy Mayor Mork, for those introductions. So we're going to start today by doing a quick round of introductions of the folks that we have here in the room. So if everyone could come up really quick, we're going to introduce ourselves. We all work for the city of Shoreline, but all have our hands in different pots of sustainability. So like Mallory said, my name is Paige Scheid. I am the city's Environmental Sustainability Program Manager, and I'm lucky to be working with all these folks here, and I'll pass it to Sarah.
And my name is Sarah. I'm the Sustainability Coordinator, and so I'm also on Paige's team here at the city.
My name is Kylie. I'm the Urban Forestry Program Specialist here.
Hi, I am Christy Lovelace. I'm the Surface Water Program Specialist. So I'm with the Surface Water Utility, the lone wolf representing Public Works tonight.
I'm Aiden. My pronouns are he, him. I work with Sarah and Paige there. I'm an environmental program specialist here.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I work with Kylie, and I'm the urban forestry supervisor for the city.
On purpose. Thank you, everyone. So you'll be hearing from all of us at some point today, and I'm just kind of kicking us off with what the presentation is going to look like. So we are going to talk about environmental sustainability through 4 different aspects of the city of Shoreline, how we work on sustainability in the city, so when we think about our government operations, how we think about sustainability in your home, so things you can do at your home right now, in your yard. There's lots of things that we do throughout all these different departments to help you be more sustainable there. And then finally, sustainability in your community. So those are our 4 kind of topic areas for the night. So I'm going to kick us off with what we focus on for sustainability in the city. So the city of Shoreline has a climate action plan. This plan outlines the ways in which the city will be reducing our greenhouse gas emissions and increasing community resiliency to climate change impacts. We adopted the plan in December of 2022, so we are now entering our 3rd year of implementation. But this is not the first climate action plan that the city has developed. We actually had a climate action plan in September of 2013, so that was almost a 10-year plan. So we are working on improving every year that we make a new plan. And our team, the environmental sustainability team, so Sarah and Aiden and I manage the implementation of that plan, but the plan itself spans across multiple departments. So it's not just us working on sustainability, it's a lot of different staff members at the city. So in the climate action plan, I mentioned that we have a goal to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. We have a pretty ambitious goal to reduce our emissions 60% by 2030, which incorporates Shoreline's fair share of emissions. Most of our emissions in Shoreline come from transportation. As you can see in the graph on the screen, 44% of those transportation emissions come from gasoline-powered cars. So a lot of what we focus on our team is helping people to reduce the amount that they drive in the city. And you'll see the other big portion of the graph here is blue, and it talks about energy use in your home or in the buildings in Shoreline. And most of those emissions come from natural gas and oil that we use to heat our homes and cool our homes. So another program you'll hear about later is to reduce the amount of natural gas usage in the city and to help homes electrify. So this hopefully gives you a better sense of why we're doing what we're doing for some of the programs in the community alongside the other programs you'll hear about later. And now I'm going to pass it to Kevin.
Thank you, Paige. So I'm Kevin, the urban forestry supervisor, and I work with Kylie. So urban forestry in Shoreline is housed in park operations. We're based in Hamlin Park. So we oversee the maintenance and care of all the public trees in the city. So this includes all the street trees, all the forested areas of the city, basically any public land aside from the school district. If it's a tree on it, it's our duty to take care of it. So our day-to-day is focused mostly on tree planting, hazard tree mitigation, forest restoration, and street tree maintenance. Thanks, Paige. And so this is our 2023 Urban Forest Strategic Plan. This is kind of our main guiding document. So we have lots of goals in there, short-term, long-term, but the main ones is to maintain our current 37% average tree cover, complete a comprehensive tree inventory of right-of-way trees, and complete a comprehensive plan for managing our public forest resources, including right-of-way trees. So this is our 2023 tree canopy analysis. So tree canopy, it's not perfect, but it's the best tool we have for basically measuring how well we're doing as an urban forestry program. So right now we're at 37%. This is up 0.1% from about 5 years ago. It's just kind of a snapshot of how many trees we've lost, how well we're doing with planting. And so we really like this number. We consider it a positive, so we want to maintain it. And for comparison, so like Seattle's at 28.1%, Tacoma's at 20%, and Redmond is similar at about 38%. So going forward for our long-term goals, if we are able to keep that at 37%, I think we're doing a really good job.
Try again.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So it said something about your tree canopy coverage from the U.S., whatever the acronym was.
Hi, I've got a question about the tree canopy coverage estimation. Like, a multifamily housing unit comes and it takes down 20 trees, and then they plant so many extra trees. Like, are you guys making calculations like weekly, or is this quarterly, annually?
Every 5 years.
And is it based on like aerial maps or calculations in addition to that?
It is. It's on aerial data from the USDA. So
Okay.
it's land cover data. And then we take that, we hire a contractor that does a study, and then they give us that number.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah.
Kevin, quick question from the Zoom. What does right-of-way tree mean?
Good question. So right away is a street tree. Yep. A tree in front of a house. It could be next to a sidewalk. It could not be, but it's just on public property in what we call the right of way, which is like a street tree. Yep.
Thanks.
Another question.
Sure.
Speaking of right-of-way, if you believe you have a right-of-way tree in front of your house and it needs some help, what would you do?
You can call me.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, contact CRT. That's like the flow chart we have. So contact CRT. They'll come out and determine if it's a public or private tree. And then if they determine it is a public tree, which I'm going to get to in a minute, how we determine that, because we're getting better at it. Then yeah, it'll hit our desk, and then we'll go out and make an assessment. We'll do a risk assessment, and we'll only remove it if it's hazardous, which is a pretty high bar. We really want to retain trees. We'll make a habitat snag out of it. We'll monitor it, but we really just try to avoid. Treat it?
If it has a hole in it, if you want it to survive.
That might be a case-by-case basis. Yeah, send me a picture. Okay, so Kylie's going to get into this a little bit more, but this is our Green Shoreline Management Plan. So we created this in 2020 to do basically a detailed health assessment of all of our forested areas in all of our parks. So it's a big project. We want to keep this going. And what I just want to highlight is that this summer we're going to expand this to street trees, because we have a strategic plan for all forestry, but we don't have a management plan specifically for street trees, which we need. Okay, so this is the public tree inventory. This is what I'm talking about. So right now, if a tree is in front of your house like that, and we don't know if it's public or private, and you want to maintain it, we have to actually go out and usually hand measure it and make that determination, which is extremely labor-intensive time, takes a long time. So what we're going to do is basically this. So we'll inventory every single public tree in the city, which is at the minimum 40,000, probably quite a bit more. We'll put it all into a database. It'll have condition assessments, pictures, DBH, which is the diameter, so basically the size of the tree, and a whole list of criteria, so that then that will help us manage the trees better. And I really just can't emphasize how important this is for us to be able to do our job. Like right now, a lot of everything is pretty reactive based, but this would allow us to move to more of a proactive approach and really kind of build a program. So we just had our final interview with our contractor today, and we're going to select him probably in the next week. So, just to highlight our day-to-day, these are trees in the city, off Meridian in Hamlin Park. So a big part of my day-to-day is doing health assessments on trees, trying to prevent what happened there on the left. and that one on the right. We actually kept that one. So that looks really scary and hazardous, but that's really good habitat. So there's no target for it. It's just in the woods. So we basically accept that risk. There's no trails around it, and that provides really good habitat. So we keep them. This one is in Twin Ponds. Clearly not so good. Windstorm hit the house. No one was hurt. But, we want to avoid this too. This is a glorious path. This was a huge mess, but a big, healthy tree that came down, which is a shame. And I just wanted to include these to highlight that even really big, that's a Douglas fir, healthy, no outward signs of problems. They come down on windstorms. It's perfectly natural. It's part of forest succession. But we try to replant and just deal with that as it comes. Another one, I have a lot of pictures of these on my phone. So that's a right-of-way tree. That's a public tree, even though it's basically in someone's yard. That is a public tree. So that is a huge, in Shoreline, we have a ton of unmaintained right-of-way because it was unincorporated King County. So we have all these trees that are kind of in people's yards that are actually city trees. And then the last thing, so we do some in-house maintenance. This is us creating a habitat snag in Hamlin Park. We go up in the boom truck, we cut the top off, the tree's dead, and then we reduce the height. We make a little notch in it, so it kind of mimics like a broken top, and then that becomes habitat for owls and squirrels and everything. And then we just planted a bunch of trees. We're really ramping up our tree planting program. That's just right out there. We planted 70 trees. We're going to do a few hundred more. Yep. Okay, so this is in your home. Passing it back to Paige.
Thanks, Kevin. I'll take that from you. Before I move on, is there any questions, Mallory, that we didn't answer? Nope. Okay. Great. So I will kick us off by talking about our environmental sustainability team program called Energize Shoreline. This program provides free educational workshops on heat pumps, as well as exclusive savings for Shoreline residents if you want to install a heat pump. Our team manages this program, but we work closely with the planning department to make sure all the permits are pulled right, and we work with our communications team to make sure we're getting the word out across the city. One of the largest goals of this program is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from natural gas furnaces in homes across Shoreline, as well as oil. So the point of this program is really to help install heat pumps in the city, which are far more efficient heating systems and cooling systems for your home. And I'll talk a little bit more about who we see here on the screen here on the next slide. If it will go. I'll try again. There it is. Okay, so in our pilot program in 2024, we had limited funding, so we prioritized spending most of our dollars on subsidized installations for low-income homes in Shoreline. So on the previous slide and this slide, you're looking at 2 of the 4 residents who have a home in Shoreline who received a fully subsidized heat pump installation through the program. So in 2025, we are expanding our program, and you should be hearing more about this summer. We'll be offering rebates for what we're calling our self-funded installations in Shoreline. So we'll offer a $2,000 rebate to anyone who comes through our workshop series and uses one of our qualified installers for a heat pump. And we're also going to be offering subsidized installations for low-income homes in Shoreline again. One of the benefits of offering this program is, again, the reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, but also being able to offer cooling to homes that never had that option before. As we start to see our summers get warmer and hotter and more unpredictable with the smoke, having that air conditioning and a heat pump in your home to help filter out some of those particles is really critical for our changing climate. And we also like to offer different resources through our program around weatherization. So if you come to our workshop, you might hear more about how you can improve your home even without a heat pump. And if you want to learn more, you can go to our website there, shorelinewa.gov/goelectric.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little about trash. So also, we have some programs that you can take advantage of in your home related to waste, reducing the amount of waste that you're producing. And so we have several programs. One thing that I wanted to mention is a law that recently passed last year, which requires businesses that are like serving or selling food to use regular dishware, silverware, napkins that can be reused multiple times when they are serving customers that are dining in-house, like on site. And then for to-go ware, we require them to use compostable serviceware. So hopefully this reduces the amount of like single-use plastics that we are generating across Shoreline. So that's just one thing that we're doing and focusing on. We also have, yeah, go ahead.
What should somebody do if they go to a restaurant in Shoreline? What should somebody do if they go to a restaurant in Shoreline and do not think that they have received, for a takeout, do not believe that they have received compostable?
Yeah, great question. You can email us, so environment@shorelinewa.gov. That is something that we expect to see. It's one of those things, too, where we have waivers in place. So not all the products that businesses are needing to serve their food are kind of created in a compostable form yet. So you will kind of see as the compostable products business like catches up with the needs of businesses, those things will change. But essentially, we're providing a lot of education, outreach, and incentives to help businesses kind of make that transition to the right serviceware that they need.
So the plastic is super cheap, but it's awful. Is there are some of the incentives to help like smaller businesses be able to afford the compost?
Yes, so glad you asked. Yeah, so it is, we understand that it is a little bit of a financial burden to make that transition. And so we do have programs in place right now where we will purchase up to $1,000 of serviceware to help replace items that are currently single-use plastic versions. So we'll help them kind of navigate the complicated world of understanding what is compostable, what is not, and then understanding their needs and helping them make the right purchases. Great. Oh, okay. Did you want to talk about anything else on this one? On the last one?
No, you got it, girl.
Okay. We just.
Oh, yeah.
I think
do you need
so.
to go back?
There we go. Okay. We also have programs to help residents with special item recycling. So right now we're piloting programs where we're creating stations for styrofoam and plastic bag recycling in multifamily properties so that they have access to those services. Because unlike single-family residents where you I don't know if you knew, but we'll talk about on the next slide, is you have access to curbside pickup of those materials from Recology. Apartment renters don't have that service. And so this is a way to kind of bridge the gap and allow them to be able to recycle that rather than having it go in the trash. We also provide a lot of support to help businesses, residents compost more and recycle better. And all of this is really to make sure that we're sending as little to the landfill as possible and as much is being repurposed into new materials. So that's really the end goal, is to reduce the amount of waste we're creating, but also make sure that as much of it as possible is going to the right place and not just filling up our landfill. Okay, now you can go. Okay. And as I mentioned, Recology does have options for special item recycling curbside. So they'll take things like batteries, styrofoam, textiles, small propane canisters, small appliances and electronics. So that's something that you can request directly through their website, through your account. Some things do come with a fee, but it is a way that you can responsibly dispose of that waste and possibly have it being repurposed into new materials. For single-family homes and all other sectors, so apartments, businesses, we have free recycle service through Recology, and it's great to see that mainly all residents are taking advantage of that free service. And then as a single-family home owner, you also have the option for free compost service as well. But to help bridge that gap too, we also have incentive programs where we will cover the cost of compost services for apartment properties so that renters can take advantage of that service as well. Hopefully you all know that there's also a Recology store where you can take a lot of materials. Right now it is closed and to be determined of the opening date. But in the meantime, we're having pop-ups at City Hall approximately every 2 weeks where you can bring those hard to recycle items here and have them be recycled. They also have a Waste Zero team that many folks are not aware, but they'll essentially, if you have any question about like what goes where, or I need help, you know, if I'm a business owner and I need help, I want to have compost service now. Like, what do I need? What do I do? What size do I need? They have a whole staff member dedicated to Shoreline that helps businesses and apartment properties navigate that. And they also have a what goes where tool as well. So if you're just curious and you're like looking at a clear cup or something, and you're like, where does this go? You can go ahead and go onto their website and search whatever it is that you're questioning, and it'll tell you exactly where to put it. But yeah, any questions about garbage, recycling, compost? Yeah, okay.
So my question is on takeout food containers.
Okay.
That have a plastic or what I feel is a waxed interior.
Mm-hmm.
These are paper, but with a waxed interior. I feel that was not recyclable. So is it?
That is a depends answer. I'm so sorry.
Okay,
it depends on exactly what it's made of and what material it is. Generally, that's not going to be compostable. Things that are like uncoated or whatnot can go uncompostable. But yeah, for recycling needs, it's a little bit, I can't totally answer the question. Yeah, for the most part, I'm going to say it's safe to assume if it's like a very thin coating, but if you're ever in doubt, that's something you can send a picture to the Recology folks and they can tell you, and they can help you navigate where exactly to put that. But I can't give you a straight answer because it really depends.
Okay, on those compost,
okay,
the ones that say something like maybe compostable depending on yada yada yada, you know what I mean? Whatever that says. Is that okay for us to compost in Shoreline? Like if it says something like depending on the manufacturing, you know how some of them come with caveats?
Yes. So we, yeah, this is a pretty nuanced answer, I'm going to say. So again, it really depends. So not all composting facilities have the same method for breaking materials down. Some use hotter temperatures. Some keep things in their system for a lot longer than others. Our composting processor kind of rolls over the materials pretty quickly, I think in 21 days, if I'm not mistaken. So it's really fast. So they're not able to take all things that say commercially compostable just because the way their system works, it doesn't break down quickly enough. So it depends. We do have resources kind of on our website where you can see the types of like the exact products that our composting facility accepts. But that's something that we're largely focusing our education outreach on with businesses, is helping them figure out, okay, this one Cedar Grove accepts, we can use it. So that hopefully within Shoreline, you're going to see that you're mainly getting materials that can be composted. Yeah. Cool.
Sarah, are you aware of a free recycling program that Deseret Industries does?
They do take some items. Okay. Yes, I do know that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, someone just shared that in the chat. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Okay. Now from in your home, we're going to go to in your yard.
Maybe. We're going to try. There we go. Okay. So in your yard, one thing that you can do to help the city of Shoreline is to plant a tree. So I'm going to talk about our Community Trees program, which is our tree giveaway program. We try to be as accessible as possible with this. So that's open to all Shoreline residents. I swear I didn't touch anything. I'm going to put that down for now. It's open to all Shoreline residents, but you can also represent schools, churches, and businesses. We work with everybody. And also, it's a very collaborative program, so we have a lot of teams that work on it. Pretty much everyone in this room, and then some, will be a part of this program. And the goal is pretty simple. We want to increase the number of trees in our city. But as Kevin talked about, a lot of the tools that the city has is to help maintain tree canopy in public lands, so right-of-way trees, street trees, and parks, things like that. Community trees is a really good way that the city can help increase tree canopy on private property. So that's a nice tool that we have in our arsenal. And then it also supports our climate action plan that Paige was talking about earlier. We do have a strategy to maintain tree canopy in Shoreline, and as part of that, we have a strategy to create a tree distribution program. So that is where Community Trees came from. And now I will try to click a button without messing anything up. Okay. So this hopefully gives you a little bit of a better idea of what the Community Trees program does than me just talking at you. But if you can see that up there, that's a distribution of all the trees that we have been able to plant in the past couple of years. Last year alone, we had about 200 people ask for trees, and we were able to connect around 170 of them with trees. So it was a very successful program. Hopefully you can see here too that the distribution of trees is not equal across Shoreline. We do try to prioritize areas that need trees, so places that maybe lack tree canopy or had recent trees fall down, things like that. Last year we were able to plant 70% of trees in those areas. But over the course of the program, we've had the privilege of planting 489 trees total, so pretty successful over the past couple of years. I'm going to pass it to Kylie.
Yeah, so what to expect. If you're interested, you can sign up for a free tree. We will help you pick the right tree for your space. So we partner with King Conservation District, and one of their staff members will provide a site visit, which is on a first come, first served basis. They will visit your property, do a little walkthrough, and assess which tree would be best. They would recommend which tree would be best to plant on your property. We will also provide planting assistance for those with individuals with disabilities, subject to volunteer availability. And then we will also host some workshops in October. We will teach you about tree planting and care, and then we will also follow up with ongoing tree care reminders to make sure you're taking care of it, watering it properly. And if you're interested, we provided our QR code up there, and then you can also visit our website at shorelinewa.gov/communitrees, where you could also enter your contact information, and then we will send you updates about when our sign-up process will open, which sign-ups will usually be open from July 15th to August 31st. And we're still currently in our planning phase for this year's program, but if you want to be updated with when that's going to be opened up, you can sign up. Now I will pass it on to Christy.
Okay, when you're ready to plant more than one tree in your yard, you're going to call me about the Soak It Up program. So Soak It Up, my name is Christy Lovelace again, and I'm with the Surface Water Utility, and so is the Soak It Up program. So we work with private properties to plant rain gardens and native landscapes on those properties. And really what we're trying to accomplish here is we're trying to transform the way we manage rainwater in our cities. So you may be aware of this already, but I'll give a little background. So in cities, we've got a lot of hardscapes, right? We've got buildings, we've got roads, we've got parking lots, and when rain falls on those hard surfaces, it causes two problems. The first thing it causes is flooding. It's not gonna soak into the ground, it's gonna pool up and flow downhill somewhere, and let's hope that somewhere is not your home. The second issue that it causes is pollution. So as that water flows across parking lots and roads, it's gonna pick up whatever it touches, and it's gonna carry that water into storm drains, which go into underground pipes, and they lead directly into streams, lakes, and Puget Sound without getting cleaned. Come on, slide. Okay. So moving water directly into natural waterways through these storm drains and these pipes is really the old way of doing things. We do it if it's absolutely necessary, but what we're really looking to do now throughout the utility and through this Soak It Up program is find safe places for rainwater to soak in close to where it's landing. And that's gonna help to prevent flooding throughout the city and drainage issues, and also to protect our waters, our wildlife, and our fisheries. All right, so rain gardens and native landscaping. These are two ways that we can help soak up rainwater. A rain garden is here on the left-hand side. So it's this sort of shallow bowl shape, and we're connecting a roof or a driveway. All of the water that's flowing off of that is gonna go into a pipe, and then it goes into the rain garden itself. And so during a rainstorm, that garden will just pool up with a little bit of water, and then it soaks in. So it's a safe place that's away from the home or the building for that rainwater to capture. And it's planted with these really beautiful plants. It's got really absorbent soils. It's a really great feature, especially if you're having any drainage issues around your home. The second program that we offer, or garden that we support, is native landscaping. And so with these gardens, what we're looking to do is really just capture the rainwater that's falling more effectively. And so we are tilling up the soils and adding compost, planting it with a mix of native plants, which have these really great, deep, dense roots to help keep the soil uncompacted and soaking up rainwater. And again, very beautiful. You can plant these gardens with lots of really beautiful flowering plants, or you can stick to sort of a more classic forest northwest look. You've got lots of options. And so how do we help people do this? We have two different ways that we support community members in planting these gardens. The first is we offer a rebate for this work. And so starting this year in 2025, we increased our rebate to $5,600 for homes and up to $14,000 for larger properties. These gardens, especially if you're working with contractors, they can be pricey if you're doing the work yourself. It's a little less expensive, but we knew that we needed to move that dollar amount up a little bit to move this program forward and see these gardens come to life. The other thing we do is we provide guidance. So we come out and we do a site visit, and we talk about what could work on your property, where you could place a rain garden, what would a native planting look like, really make it work for your home. We also have garden design workshops each year to help you support picking out the plants that would work, what would that design look like. And then we also provide one-on-one support. You can call me, email me anytime. And so I'll have to say, our rebate program, we increased it to $5,600. We really are leading with this technical, this support for folks, and it's worked really well. People have been very excited about the program. So unfortunately at this time for homes, we are on a wait list only for the rebate itself, but that guidance is evergreen. We are always here to help, and we love doing this. And a lot of people take us up just on the guidance only because they're either looking to just start small, or they have a really specific area they want to work with, or they're not really interested in the rebate anyways, and they're just ready to get going. So if you are interested, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Please, you can go to shorelinewa.gov/soakitup, or you can grab my email at the end of this and send me an email. All right. Oh, yes, please.
Thank you. Two questions. Yeah. One, where does the money come from that helps pay those rebates? And two, can you give a rough estimate of how many folks have gotten the rain gardens or the native plantings
over the course of the program history? Mm-hmm. I will do some mental math here. Very rough. So I can answer the first question very easily. So the surface water utility is funded through surface water management fees. So when you pay your property taxes, you also pay a fee called the surface water management fee. And so that funds all of the work that the surface water utility, aside from grants and bonds, but that's the primary driver. And so we use this public funding. We use it to help, because these gardens have a larger community benefit. So we're working on private property to help do that. So, and then your second question, we have been around since 2014. And so the first few years were kind of quiet in the program, but we typically have about 7 to 10 gardens per year, I would say. And since making this change, we've had 20 folks sign up for the program within the first 6 weeks. So we're hopeful that we can, work with a lot more people. And we're also really trying to capture when we're able to provide just that guidance only as well to help people, make the shift to these types of gardens, help capture that in the work that we're doing as well. Any other questions online? No? Okay. All right, so moving on in the community. So this one is really an ask. So we have a spill response program. So we've got staff available all day, every day to respond to spills in the road. And so I've got this example here of this chemical sheen, right? This gas spill that's going into a storm drain right here, which we all know leads straight to streams, lakes, and Puget Sound. But spills can really look like anything, right? If it's not clear rainwater going down the road, then we want to know about it. If you know that somebody is draining their pool potentially, right? If it's like a heavy flow in the middle of summer, please give us a call. If you see what looks like chocolate milk flowing down the road, it's probably some type of construction runoff. All of these things can have harmful effects in natural waterways in our streams and lakes in Puget Sound. So please call us. All you have to do is call City Hall to report these, and we'll send somebody out to investigate it up and clean it. The faster you call us, the quicker a response we can have and hopefully get to it before it enters a waterway as well, while it's still in the piped system. All right, and last but definitely not least, we've all got storm drains throughout our neighborhoods, and they tend to get a lot of debris built up on them. Sometimes that's leaves, pine needles, sometimes it's trash. And so if you want to start helping out today with the work that we're doing, if you want to just help with clearing those leaves and that debris off, that's really helpful. It's going to help prevent flooding in your neighborhood. Once those storm drains get clogged, that lowest downhill spot, they're going to start overflowing somewhere, right? So this helps protect you and your neighbors, but also just the amount of debris that these storm drains can collect leads to just a natural amount of even things that seem natural, right, ending up in waterways. So just more leaves than would naturally occur there, and it can cause an imbalance of nutrients in the water and all sorts of other issues. Yeah, go ahead.
I love this.
Yeah.
So I will sometimes walk around with like a stick or something, and if the drain has debris on it, I'll push it off. But then what usually happens is like the grading is got like an inch or so full of like gravel and sand, and I probably do the wrong thing, but I just push it down into the grate. Mm-hmm. What is the best thing to do when it's like the grading itself has debris?
Okay, like the actual storm drain itself has it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so instead of pushing it down, if you can sort of pull it out, so some of these storm drains have like a curb next to it, so if you can pull that debris out, I mean, the best thing to do is to put it into some kind of bucket and then throw it out in the trash, but you know, sometimes you're walking around your neighborhood, it's heavy and it's flooding, right? So just trying to kick that up onto the curb if
usually
possible.
I do that with the plants, but it's just that thick gravel that there's not something easy to do.
Oh, so is it just the gravel going down?
Yeah, it's like if you imagine the grading with the little slots in it, and those slots are chock-a-block full of sand and gravel.
Yeah. I mean, so I think the good news is that oftentimes that sand and gravel tends to sort of settle in the system. We still don't want a lot of it because it just leads to more maintenance and cleaning that has to happen. So I would say if there is a way to sort of move it off as best as you can, if some of it falls in, that's just kind of the course of nature. So but as much as you can sort of keep that stuff out is helpful. Yeah. Any other questions? We do have a formal volunteer program too. If you want to sign up and send your hours in and be part of this crew, get storm notices from me, let you know when the heavy rains are coming in. But otherwise, just sort of encouraging this throughout your neighborhood. I've certainly seen a lot more of it going on in my own neighborhood, which is really great. So, all right. If no questions, I'll pass it on. Pass it back.
So another community program that we have in Shoreline is Green Shoreline, which is a collaborative initiative involving the city, community groups, schools, businesses, nonprofits, and lots of volunteers to restore our forested and natural areas in the city. This is with the Parks Department, Urban Forestry, within park operations, and like Kevin talked about in the forest management plan, our goal with this volunteer program is to restore 240 acres of urban forest by 2039. So this is a map of where we currently work. We work at 14 different parks and open spaces, and we are adding 2 more sites this year, which are indicated by the orange markers. We're going to start work at Boyne Creek Open Space and Ballinger Open Space. And then how to get involved. So this QR code will lead to a map. A map of our events that are happening throughout the week and then at different parks. And then what to expect at a work party. So there's forest stewards leading this program. They'll teach you about noxious weed removal, and then we'll also teach you about plant identification, how to properly remove these noxious weeds, usually involving like blackberry, ivy, bindweed, all those nasty things. And then during the planting season, they will be planting native species, which involves like trees, shrubs, ground cover, and then no experience necessary. We welcome anyone to participate with our volunteer program. Pass it on to Paige.
Okay, I get to close us out with a couple other programs that the city offers in your community. If you haven't seen them, Shoreline now is a proud city with Lime bikes and scooters. We started this pilot program in 2024 with 50 e-bikes and 200 e-scooters, and it's been pretty popular with the community. My colleague in Public Works, Jeff Raker, runs this program in Transportation Services, but we work closely with him on my team, so I thought I'd cut him some slack and cover it for him tonight. The big goal with the scooter and bike share program, again, is to really reduce the amount of driving that we have in Shoreline and get more folks into different modes of transportation to get to our newly opened light rail. And the last program we're going to talk very quickly about tonight is a brand new program that the city is offering on a limited term basis called Pedal Forward Shoreline. This program will be providing free electric bikes to a specific neighborhood in Shoreline through a grant that we got from the Department of Ecology. Our team is running this program, Environmental Sustainability, and again, one of the big goals is to reduce the amount that we drive in Shoreline and help enhance the amount of connectivity we have to different transportation options, such as the bus and light rail. So just a quick background on how we got to this point for this program. We were awarded a grant to reduce criteria air pollution in a specific area of Shoreline. It was considered one of the 16 overburdened communities in Washington State, and the grant is funded by the Climate Commitment Act through the Department of Ecology at Washington State. For the program, there's only 2 eligibility requirements. You have to, 1, live in the eligible area, and 2, be an adult, so 18 years or older. Part of the program commitments will be having to attend a class in May to learn how to ride an e-bike, and then completing 2 surveys on how you actually use your e-bike 1 month after you get it and 3 months after you get it. So the eligible area is parts of Ridgecrest and parts of Briarcrest. It's a census tract just north of 145th. So that's, if you think about the Goodwill, that's kind of where the Goodwill is. So if you live in this area, we encourage you to apply to our program. The application will be open until April 25th. 3 easy steps. Apply online, come learn how to ride an e-bike with our partner Cascade Bicycle Club in May, and then pedal away on your new e-bike in June. So if you do not live in that area, don't fret. We do have other options for you to learn about electric bikes and how awesome biking can be in Shoreline. We are hosting an off-the-bike class here at City Hall on April 30th, so you can come in person or join us online, where you will get to learn about biking basics, rules of the road, safe biking, and you can learn more about Pedal Forward there. So this is open to anyone in Shoreline. So if you're curious or would like to register, you can scan the QR code or visit our website, shorelinewa.gov/pedal forward. Okay, so we kind of breezed through a lot of topics here. On the screen is contact information for most of the folks here. Are there any questions from either online or in person that we could help answer? Oh, one of our teammates.
Will these slides be available after the presentation?
So this event is being recorded, and the recording will be uploaded to the CityLearn website within about a week. They're all kind of archived on the sidebar of the website, so all previous events, and this one included.
Great, you can watch us again.
Yes. Any questions from the audience here tonight?
So you said that the program was like through a Washington state grant. How long does the program last?
Great question. The program will last until June 30th of this year. So it's a pretty quick turnaround for a program like that, but we're very excited about the opportunity that they afforded us with the grant.
Question from Zoom. Are there maps of bike routes in the city?
That's a great question. There are, and I would direct you to Jeff Raker in Public Works for more information on that. But I'm pretty sure on our website there are maps for the biking infrastructure in Shoreline. Anything else? Because if not, I will turn it back to Mallory.
Okay. All right. Let's stop our share. Bring this all together.
Okay, thank you all so much. A lot covered, a lot of opportunities to volunteer, compost bins for those that arrived in person. For those that are online, I'm sure that you can connect with the environment at shorelinewa.gov and request a compost bin. So please do that if you're not currently composting in your home. I just want to sincere gratitude to everybody who took time out of their evening. And we are, again, recording this session, so we will have a video uploaded on the CityLearn website. And I hope that a whole bunch of people watch that recording after the fact. But appreciate all the questions this evening from Courtney. And all the folks that chimed in online as well. Thank you for the great question about the compostable containers and wax lining. I'm really, really pleased with our opportunity to cover urban forestry, surface water, rain gardens. Thank you so much, Christy. Just thank you to the whole team, and thank you so much again to Deputy Mayor Mark for being here this entire time and being so passionate about the environment and just taking time, the sacred time out of your evening to be here. If we do not have additional questions from Zoom, I think we will close early this evening and encourage you to come back in May. We will be here on May 7th, I want to say, talking all things capital projects. So how do big projects happen? How are they conceived in the city of Shoreline? How are they prioritized? How do we fund them? How all the things. So come and hear from our staff in the Public Works Department talking about capital projects, 145th roundabouts. Think of the capital projects in this city. The Aurora Corridor, the park that's just adjacent to us right now. Massive capital projects. So I encourage you to come back if you have questions about what capital projects are and how they get done. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening on Zoom. And thank you again to the folks in the room. And that's all. Thanks.